Hey, how's it going? It's Robin Smith, and it's time for the Robin Smith Show for Wednesday, July 2nd. Pew, 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 pew. I feel like that's the kind of sound effect I need for this kind of energy. Only 2 more days to 4th of July. I didn't say the year. It's 2025, but that's obvious, right? Welcome to the podcast. No guest today. Thanks for tuning in. I wish you a belated summer solstice. My wife and I's anniversary. That's the longest day of the year. We get to celebrate our anniversary on the summer solstice. It's beautiful. Beautiful, like that big, beautiful bill that just passed. No, I'm not going to get into that. I think it passed in the Senate, and now it's waiting on a House. I just said I wasn't going to get into it, right? I don't want to talk about the big, beautiful bill. I don't suffer from Trump derangement syndrome like my parents do. Congratulations to my daughter for passing the swim test. Big girl can go down water slides now. That's exciting. I'm all over the place here, as always. I injured my wrist. This stinks. Can you believe this? I found a prayer wheel. I didn't find. My mom gave me a prayer wheel. This Buddhist handheld prayer wheel that you spin, and you're supposed to spin it in a clockwise direction. If you spin it counterclockwise, it reverses your karma or something. I'm still learning out. There's there's prayers inside of it, and every time you spin it, it's basically like sends those prayers into the universe. It's a way of working your karma through. I don't know. Ask your local Buddhist temple. But anyway, I think what happened was on Monday, I lift weights, and then Tuesday's a recovery day, but I was spinning this prayer wheel and getting groceries and washing, doing all the normal stuff, and I think I just overtaxed my one of my tunnels, not carpal tunnel, whatever the other one is. Don't you have 2 tunnels? You have like the thumb, index finger, and then you've got the pinky ring finger. Yeah. So I feel a little worthless here. I skipped going to the gym today, and instead attended my local Headless Way meeting. Longtime listeners will be familiar with the Headless Way. And by local, of course, I mean, I don't know. I think the guy who hosted it was in New Zealand or Australia or something. It was midnight where he was, but it was 10 a.m. for me. I hadn't been to one of these Headless Way meetups in over a year, easily. But the Headless Way is, for those of you who don't know, I discovered it on Sam Harris's Waking Up app. It's a meditation app. And so Douglas Harding wrote this book called The Science of the First Person, and it does this. There's different experiments that you can run, subjectively on your sense of awareness and perceptions and things like that. And anyway, get to the punchline. You have no head from the first person point of view. And that's a strange claim to just gloss over. But if you're interested, look into it. Headless Way, I think it's like headlessway.org. But I had been doing a lot of different meditation traditions, and the Headless Way was really this kind of final linchpin that broke open non-dual awareness. And then from there, there's a bunch of psychotherapists that are in these Headless Way meetups. And I was like, oh, how do I be in a non-dual state with my clients? This seems like it would be really beneficial to the flow of therapy. And one of the guys in there said, hey, internal family systems let you do that. So I was at a juncture point where I would either have taken my ASECT sex certification, sex therapy, like that direction, or ZIG instead of ZAG, and go to internal family systems. And that totally changed my life. Totally. So thank you, River in Philadelphia, for suggesting IFS. Anyway, for all of you science nerds, I mean, there's a couple weeks. It's not going to happen for a couple weeks, but this month brings. This month brings the Southern Delta Aquarids. I don't know how you say it. That's going to peak on the night of July 29th. And I think it's accompanied with the Alpha Capricornids. I don't know if both of those are in our northern hemisphere, so consult your local astronomer. It also peaks on July 29th, so apparently if there's two different meteor showers and they're both happening on the same night, and they're both peaking on the same night, it seems to me like that's a good night to go out and look. If you're a stargazer or you're interested, or even if you've never looked at celestial events at all, consider yourself invited. Let's see. What else here? Oh, I've been listening to The Three Waves of Volunteers and the New Earth by Dolores Cannon. Now let me just stop right here. This is where I need to pause and take a drink of water like Marco Rubio. Hang on. Oh, by the way, I still haven't gotten back to you all about whether or not it's kosher to put your water glass on a Book of Common Prayer. Still waiting for an answer. So Dolores Cannon, she was a famous author, hypnotherapist, and really she developed a form of healing kind of built out of the hypnotherapy tradition. I think she calls it quantum healing. Now listen, this is very strange stuff, okay? I grant you that. So I want to borrow a phrase from Kai Dickens of the telepathy tapes and say being a true skeptic requires having an open mind. I get that many of the claims in her book will seem completely off your rocker, and it's like, hey, Robin, if you're buying all that, you might as well just go downtown to the Church of Scientology and get your e-meters read by the Scientologists or whatever it is. It's very strange. I grant you that. I was just actually in a unattached burden consult group with the great Bob Falconer, and I really appreciated his message here with therapists who do this kind of work. He's like, listen, psychotherapists are already kind of in an isolated field. Now, therapists do get together. There are happy hours. There are networking events. There is community, obviously, but it can be, if you're listening to this and you're a therapist, you know what I'm saying. It can be very lonely. If you're in private practice, it's just not the same. There's not a cafeteria. There could be a water cooler, but usually people, even who share office space, it can be lonely. It's a lot of one-on-one work, and this is therapy. Therapy. This is work that you don't necessarily like. You can't show other people your work necessarily. You know what I mean? You can't be like, hey, come to this place and you can see my display of blah blah blah. I mean, because it's private work, right? So anyway, why did I bring all that up? So it can be lonely, but Bob reminded me, when you get into the weirder areas, this working with spirits, lost ancestors, past lives. Now listen, I might lose a lot of you right here. Aliens, okay, UFOs and aliens, and now it's just like, now we're totally into like, we're off our rocker, right? So it gets even more lonely, and I think it's really important to have community, and Bob emphasized that, and that's part of what this podcast is. This podcast is, in a way, a small community. I actually haven't reached out to other podcasters. I really should do that. This is a very small operation here, which should be self-evident given the quality and the consistency of episodes. Now you're hearing from my inner critic, but I have a small operation here. I have a small operation now that I no longer have a group practice. I'm solo. So a lot of things have been pared down, and it's all the more important to, connect with people. So I found Dolores Cannon's work. I guess I was just looking into past life regression hypnotherapy, and when you look that up, like if you're interested in listening to a guided meditation to be regressed, I mean, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis, so you can in fact have access to let's say you have a library of different 20 different hypnotherapists, and they're all offering 30-minute, 50-minute audio tracks to listen to. People can hypnotize themselves. You just relax. There's stuff that you need to do so that you can take it seriously and set the right intention. But your conscious mind will relax. And when it relaxes, just like it does every single night, I mean, many people don't remember their dreams, but every single night, your conscious mind relaxes. Your body, goes into hibernation mode and healing mode, and your conscious mind opens access to things. Many people call that dreaming. But so you can get into a deep, deep trance state. I mean, the work that I do in internal family systems, that takes people into a trance state, but I don't think it's as deep as the trance state that you go into under hypnosis. There are levels, like a hotel elevator or a parking garage, whatever. So it's much deeper in my view. And anyway, I got very fascinated by this past life stuff because of the exposure to the stranger territories that my occupation has exposed me to. And so Dolores Cannon, okay, let me say this. I still have skeptical parts, okay? Believe me, if you're hearing this and you're like, Robin's a crazy man, I'm with you. I have parts that are completely with you and are like, let's just always hold out subscribing to these beliefs, whether they're real or not. In my view, I'm not so obsessed with whether it's real. What I care about is, does it work pragmatically? Does it promote? Does a person actually achieve their goals? Do we have good health outcomes from the intervention? And if the answer to that is yes, then I'm for it. As long as it's not producing any collateral harm. If you're just getting a net benefit from it, then yeah, I don't care what you say is ontologically true or not. So anyway, I've been listening to that. It's very interesting. I've been reading Causism by John Mace. When I looked on my YouTube channel, so Jerry Marzinski, he's one of the most popular episodes, if not the most popular guest. And I got to have him back on, but I read his book, and Marzinski's the one who turned me on to John Mace, because Marzinski works in the Mace energy method, and I'm fascinated by it. And it's very complementary to IFS, meaning, I guess I should say, in the way that it views identities and your personality. In IFS, the personality is seen as a bunch of parts. And in the Mace energy method, the personality is seen as a bunch of identities. So it's kind of the same thing. But the big difference is, and I'll learn more about this as I read it, is with IFS, you're working with your parts, and you're befriending protectors, and you're getting access to exiles, and it's kind of what shamans would call soul retrieval. You're retrieving, pieces of the soul, your lost parts that have been exiled. In the Mace energy method, you're still doing the healing, but it only takes a session or 2 sessions. And that's a huge claim. I mean, that's a head scratcher, and I'm very, very curious about that. And Marzinski, we're talking about the population that Marzinski works with. He comes from the mental hospitals where people have suffered from schizophrenia and prisons. He's had extensive experience in hospitals and in prisons with people who are suffering from psychosis. And he stands by the Mace energy method as that's the most powerful form of healing he's found. And that's what I'm all about. I don't care how loony or wacky it is. If it works, I would like to promote it and spread it. So, all right, what else? What else to talk about here? What are we doing? I'm not sharing any music. No musical tracks. I want to get Hammer No More the Fingers on this podcast. I need to reach out to those guys. There was a time when they were coming up to Comet Ping Pong in D.C., and I was trying to schedule to have them on, but it didn't work out. But I want to play their tracks because go listen to Hammer No More the Fingers. Any album, pick an album. I don't care. It's all amazing. Guys like those. The fact that guys like those don't get signed to a major label, it blows my mind. I don't know. Again, I'm biased. Maybe you listen to them and you're like, yeah, I see why these guys are not popular. They're just your garden variety, dad trio or whatever. They're dads now. They weren't dads when they formed, obviously, as is usually the case. What was I saying? Wait a minute. So today's Wednesday. Here's just a little latest on. I haven't mentioned this at all, but I just Googled what's in the news right now. So apparently, according to the New York Times, Sean Combs, the Diddy trial, he was cleared today, Wednesday, July 2nd, of some of the most serious charges against him. The New York Times reports racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. He's not guilty. I think he was going to face life in prison for those, but he still faces sentencing on 2 counts. He was charged with the transportation for prostitution under the Mann Act, whatever the heck that is. The mixed verdict is seen as a victory for Mr. Combs, who faced a possible life sentence. Had he been convicted of the other counts, he could be sentenced up to 20 years in prison. So I guess there were 2 women, so 10 years for each woman for transportation of these ladies for prostitution charges. So the final sentence will be up to a judge. Who knows when that's going to be announced? I haven't really been following it lately. It came up on the radio. I was getting my car worked on, and I live close enough to the dealership where the shuttle could, I could not inconvenience my family and get a shuttle to take me to the dealership to pick it up. And the guy who picked me up, he had the radio on, and it was talking about the trial. Anyway, is there anything else I want to talk about here? Oh, be sure to clean the coils. If you're a homeowner and you haven't cleaned the coils yet, I'm projecting right now, but I really got to put it in my calendar to clean these things in the springtime. I don't know. See, I talked earlier about injuring my wrist. I injured my index finger trying to clean the coils the first time I did it by myself. And if you don't know what I'm talking about the AC unit outside of a home, a structure. There's an AC unit, and that AC unit needs to be cleaned every year. It collects, lawn dust, like grass, leaf, debris, all that stuff. And then it doesn't work as well. It has to suck up more energy. And last year, I waited until the middle of summer. You're supposed to do it early. And I had to, you have to cut off the power because you're washing it with chemicals and spraying it. And my house got so hot. And anyway, I guess it's a little late for this warning, huh? You've all probably cleaned your coils because you have your shit together. Or you live in places where someone else does that for you. And let me tell you something. I would want someone else to do it. I very much would. But for the fact that I think that's like $600, okay? And the coil cleaner at the hardware store is $7. Okay, all you need is gloves, goggles, a garden hose, and the courage to do it. God damn it. So yeah, I think that's it. I want to talk about more things, but I think I need to call it in for today. Just as a reminder, go check me out on Insight Timer. There is not a new track, but I'm new to it, so I'm promoting it. If you haven't tuned in recently and you're interested, Insight Timer is a great place for it's the largest library of free meditations, so go check it out. I will be releasing more. I don't know when, though. I have to get back to you on that. I don't have any guests coming up. The me that books guests has been on vacation for a while. I need to get back in the saddle there. But I do want to hear from you all. If you have a question or a suggestion, for a guest or a topic, you can write into the show at robinsmithshow@gmail.com. You can leave a voicemail on the show's hotline, 301-458-0883. And thank you for all of your comments. I really appreciate it on YouTube. And thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting the show, rating it, telling people about it. And as always, I appreciate you. And thanks for supporting me. And I'll see you next time. The Robin Smith Show is produced by me, Robin Smith. Executive produced by Robin and Kelly Glenn Smith at Team Robley. Theme song by The Very Small. The show is engineered by one of my alters, Games Nabisco. Listeners can get in touch by calling or texting the hotline at 301-458-0883. Messages can be sent to robinsmithshow@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow the show on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Disclaimer. This podcast is for general information purposes only and does not constitute the practice of medicine, psychotherapy, or other professional healthcare services, including the giving of medical advice. Note, no therapist-patient relationship is formed. The use of this information is at the listener's own risk. The content of this podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnoses, or treatment. Listeners should not disregard or delay in obtaining medical advice for any medical condition they have and should seek the assistance of their healthcare professionals for any such conditions.